Hello and welcome back. Hope you guys all had a good week. This week I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do, and that's kind of what I've got going on. I'm going to do something I tend to call the kitchen sink, which is I take a group of unfinished models I have to do and try and figure out what I want to tackle next. So I just finished up off camera redoing my demon prints. I did him a while ago. He's minorly kit bashed. Added a spare sword from Magnus's kit, a spare top of a staff, and a fireball that I clipped off the spare sword. Ooh, we're going to focus. Uno secanto. Maybe if I move him down, he might actually. There we go. And a fireball that I clipped off Magnus's kit. Oh, and Magnus's crown. Originally, when I did this guy, he was all blue. I just didn't like the look of him. I did him in airman blue, and it was just too blue. Too much blue. So I just hit him with the dry brush to add some purple to his flesh, which I don't know how it shows up exactly on camera, but I like it a lot more. It at least contrasts him a lot better with his armor. Yeah. I always wish they would make a demon prince specific to each legion, like a specific one, because there's so much on this guy that I don't feel fits. But that's just me. But I was doing him, and while I was doing him so hard, I was left thinking, it's like, man, what do I want to do next? A lot I can do. I'm working on building my Votann, but in the meantime, I've got my aspiring sorcerers who need to be finished. They are aspiring to be done. I have my million Zongor. They need to be done. These guys were my first attempt at speed painting, by the way, if you want to see how that went. Look at those tootsies. I didn't quite understand speed paints at the time, but they're also Zongor, so I don't care that much. And Ahriman, who was my first big important model. All these guys need to have some stuff done to them. I'm just not sure where I want to go. So I'm doing this thing I do called the kitchen sink, which is when I take a bunch of models and do a little bit to each of them and kind of get a feel for what I want to do next. Right? My Thousand Suns, I don't know if I've shown them to you before, are pretty well good enough to go out and be used. Face reveal. Memphis reveal. Memphis, you're on camera. I swear to God he's alive. Buddy? Yeah? Okay. Thanks for being a quiet, stoic, emotional support guy. But they're pretty well good enough to use anywhere. Like, they're all blued, and as long as they're blued, I don't feel embarrassed taking them out. Focus this up. There we go. So yeah, I'm in this weird precarious situation where I have a lot to do, but I don't know what I want to do, and this is hobbying, so I'm not going to do something that I don't want to do. So I've got a little bit of everything laid out. And I'm going to do a few things on everything and see what strikes me the most. So I'm going to start by doing a little bit of finishing with Mazan. At least a test case. At least a test case. This is my super fancy expensive dry pal. I can't remember if I've shown it to you guys before. Oh, I just got this brush wet, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. So, we're good. So, these guys need to get finished because they are probably the worst looking part of my army right now. They definitely, like I said, my painting skills have gotten a lot better since I did these. These were the first things I ever did in a rush, fun fact. I don't know if I want to leave the bronze or silver it. Decisions. I know for the scaling, I just want to dry brush the scales with a silver so that the bronze kind of comes through underneath. Buddy, you just got on camera, buddy. You famous. I know with the scaling, that's kind of what I want. Is mostly silver with a little bit of bronze peeking through. Let me just do this guy's ass real quick. Now the question I have is, do I want to trim this in bronze or fill it in? What I think I want to do. I think I want to fill it in. Just to start. 4030 50. There we go. My wet pallet's just off to the side, but I already laid this down. So if you're curious, my normal silver is Piata silver. But in the interest of trying something new, I'm using some Stormhost silver today because I happen to have Stormhost silver today. And I wanted to see how it looked. How it covered. Also, if you watch this and you're a Spanish first language speaker, and you're like, Piata means silver, idiot. I know. But I'm not the brightest bulb in the candy tree. So I look at a bottle of Vallejo and I see Violeta Denso. I'm like, yes, it's Violeta Denso. Or as the metallics come, the English name, Spanish name. So I go, yes, Gold Dorado. Or sorry, Dorado Gold. And then I go on to my silver and I'm like, yes, Piata Silver. Yeah, it's not too bad. If you've never done metallics, which I doubt any of you have never done metallics, if you've got to me, you've probably gone down a rabbit hole and you've probably done this before. But for like the two of you that might not have, it gets way easier when you layer a metallic over another metallic. So like my classic metallic base is Leadbelcher. But when I'm doing Chaos, I tend to base everything... Ooh. I tend to base everything in whatever color the trim's going to be. So if the trim is going to be bronze, that's the basing color I use is bronze. It's going to be gold, base it in gold. That's how I like to go about it. Not bad, huh? I did not do these guys in gold, even though they are part of my Thousand Sons army. But I wanted something a little different when I made these guys. And then later on I would find it because the paint scheme for my Votann is bronze. The metallics are bronze. But at the time I did these guys, the Votann were not even a fart in the wind. So, but I like that they're a little different. Because also, remember our Zongor are not Thousand Sons. They're just technically allies. Yeah. I actually kind of like this Stormhost silver. It's got good coverage with a little metal layer underneath. I'm not going to do a second coat. I don't think. Also, if you think I'm going to finish this whole guy today, you're wrong. I'm going to do as much as I can get out of this little bit of Stormhost, and then that'll be it. Because this isn't about finishing a model. This is about picking my next project. Is it going to be Zongor? We'll see. Probably not. Then again, I only have 20 to do. I do only have 20 Zongor, which, you know, is so few Zongor. Games Workshop would be ashamed of me for not supporting the Zongor. But man, I hate things on their kit like that, like the sculpt. It's like, that's just, ugh. Like, I absolutely hate stuff like that. What do you guys think? I don't think it's too bad. Look at me using my dry brush palette as a wet palette. Anything's a wet palette if you put water on it and paint. So actually, fun fact, speaking of wet palettes, I'm 3D printing some wet palettes right now at the school because I told you guys I'm doing art again as a teacher. And I've got some fun stuff planned. We're going to be doing some watercolors. We're also going to be doing drawing motion, which I'm super stoked for, and the kids are really excited next year. I can plan next year because I have the same group of kids. I'm getting them for the next level of art. So we're going to be doing drawing motion, and then we're going to be doing watercolors. And then, I actually just ordered it from Fenris Workshop. We're going to be doing model painting. So I've got some Stormcast Eternals. Actually mostly Stormcast Eternals. I got some Stormcast Eternals coming. And a couple Night Hunt, the skeleton horse people. Hex Wraiths. I should know this. My girlfriend just bought me a bunch of Night Hunt minis to paint. But I've got those coming. And they are going to paint those next year. And I am super jazzed because I think it's going to be really fun. This is a really good group of kids, and they really do relish a challenge and seeing themselves grow at something. And I think miniature painting is a great way to see yourself get better. But I purposely picked models that responded well to things like dry brushing. And because I'm not a psychopath, I didn't pick anything with chaos trim. So I think they're going to have fun with it. So we're going to learn all the core techniques next year. It's going to be a blast. And I got budgetarily approved to order Warhammer minis for my class. So there's that. I also had to order myself a centerpiece. That's not bad. I think that's what I'm going to go with. I don't know if I'm going to do these guys, though. I also had to order myself a centerpiece for that. And I currently have a Votann army. I have the Thousand Sons. I have so much. And morally, I just could not bring myself to use school money to order something that I needed. So I ordered a Winged Tyranid Prime. Alright, next up. Let's do Ahriman. I have a lot I need to finish on Ahriman. I can't remember if he fits on this or not. He does, okay. I have a lot to do with Aramon, a lot to fix up, a lot I haven't finished yet. Oh my god, I completely missed his gauntlet. Oh no, that's because that glove's a different color. He has different color gloves. Okay, I haven't got those done yet. If you're wondering about my wrist, I spilled boiling water on my wrist. The dangers of transporting hot dog water. As I've been joking with the kids, though, all week, every time they ask me, does it hurt? I say, yep, it still hurts, but it still goes great with mustard. And then they roll their eyes. So, this is my airman. I am going to hit his staff. I've done this before with other guys. This is not a new one for me. I find Guilliman Flesh gives a great look to anything that you want to kind of do bone with. Guilliman Flesh on bone is like on a bone color. This is my bone white that I use for a bunch of stuff. It just gives a nice effect. So that's where I use Guilliman Flesh 90% of the time. It's a bit thicker than I want it. There we go. I didn't know if I wanted this to kind of be bone, but I like the look I have on a couple other models that have the same kind of texture. Yeah. Airman was my first centerpiece, quote unquote, purchase. He was a big important character. I love Airman, the lore. I think he's amazing. I'm with him 100%. But just gonna thin that out. Just gonna tint that. More so down there. Yeah, he's one of my first big purchases, but there was so much going on with him that outside the bluing and the getting his robes, I was really intimidated. So he's mostly been left. Now, since I've discovered contrast painting, he's gotten a lot less intimidating. And that's a lot of what I'm going to try here today with him. So I know I have to get his lightning bolts and stuff and all that. Just going to move this up because he sits a little differently. Yeah, I find Guilliman Flesh kind of gives this nice almost like sun-dried effect to anything that you want to kind of look like bone. I like the effect it does. And that's all that matters, is what I like. My airman. All right. So now I want to try and do some fun things with this kind of flame, which I know is not a flame. It's a lightning bolt. Oh, fuck. Hex Wraith Glow. You gotta shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Keep on shaking. Here we go. So Hexwraith Glow. And Frostheart. And Briar Queen Chill. So before I hit the model with this combination, I'm just going to test it really quick and see what I think is going to go best. So I have a dry palette right. There we go. I have my dry palette right here, which I have a sprue on. So this makes this kind of easy. I don't know. That's the transition I was thinking about. I was thinking. I say I don't know, and then I go to start immediately. Please. Do not base your life decisions on my decision making, because I'm not always the best decision maker. Oop. Okay. Airman will be back in a moment, don't worry. Interesting how those are kind of bleeding together at the back there. And then this one here, which actually gonna come down just a little bit. my own kind of custom blend here, just because the tint I find is a bit strong. On this color, this Frost Hearth. What I was going for with this guy, with my Ahriman, is the kind of taking the lightning, taking the kind of warp energy, and then kind of making it his own. So he takes it from green, and then he kind of makes it his own. But I don't know if that's going to come across there or not, but again, that's what we're doing. I might take a little bit of Tesseract Glow, just kind of add it in here, and you can't really see it, but I'm just kind of adding in. I didn't actually add any to my brush, I just picked a little bit of pigment up off my palette. Just kind of adding a little bit of it in here and there. Yeah, that's mostly what we're doing. Just playing around with these guys, seeing what it is I actually want to do. It's nice to have that energy effect that Ahriman done, though. It's been bothering me for quite a while that it wasn't done. You know, some things I have to do with this guy. I'm going to do it right now. And I hate that I'm going to have to do this, but... I never like to use any of my nice brushes with speed paint. I've had beautiful brushes ruined with speed paint, but Ahriman's tiny little eyes are so goddamn tiny that I don't see another way of doing them than with speed paint. Right. So that was dry brushing Zongor, speed painting Ahriman. I still got to do his gems and stuff, but maybe actually I think he might end up being the guy. Something satisfying about doing him. And then there's my Exalted Sorcerers. Which are a super awesome kit that every Thousand Sons player knows about. These guys. Dry brushing on. Just this guy though. The rest of them aren't getting dry brushed. Just this guy. He's special. He's a special snowflake. These are the other guys. I have 3 of these guys to finish. You know what I should do? You know what though? I like the gold kind of coming through. I should have redone them in black. But I do actually kind of like the shimmer that's coming through his hand. This is a very heavy dry brush to start as I try and get most of this blue down. Especially on the end feathers here. It's okay that that's getting blued because that's actually gonna end up as oh my god, there's a name for that color. Oh my god, Leadbelcher, there we go. That's all going to end up as Leadbelcher there, this part of the staff is. So that is okay that got a little blued. Take a bit more, and that was more than I intended to take. This is the one benefit of my super cheap palette. I can see also, if you're doing this and you're going fresh, be better than me. You can, and you should, use black underneath, I think. I'm just being a little lazy. I'm just being a little bit lazy. Ah, God, I'm stupid. I think this is my latest blue. Do I have an orange? I don't. I don't have an orange. Interesting. Okay. Well, the more you know. So that's some Hoth blue on this guy. We're going to be done here in a second. Oh my god, that hurts. Next, I'm going to hit him with a little dry brush of some Bharat blue. I want to make sure I'm very light with this because I don't want to take over. Okay. Very light Bharat blue. I think I hit his underside with it as well. Try and get more of this blue on his skin tones, because I have a plan, you see. I might not always seem like I have a plan, but I do in fact have a plan. Okay. Oh, that's an awful color. So what I'm doing, so I built up my Hoth on the inside, then my Baharoth. Now out here I'm doing, up to about here, I'm doing Averland, Sunset. Now I'm going to do a drop of this. Oh, I don't like that. It's coming out. Not the color I want. All right. Okay. It's not quite what I was going for. But, c'est la vie. Trust the process. I think it's because I didn't let it dry enough. Yeah, not super happy with how that turned out. Definitely seemed better in my head. Oh well, c'est la vie. I think, based on there, unless anyone has the nerve to comment, which, like, please comment. It would be nice. I would appreciate it very much. I think that my next project is actually going to be Araman. I think that that's the way forward. Which, now that his speed paint's dry, that's the way the effect turned out. Yeah, so I think he's going to be the next project. I'm going to do him and fully finish him. And you guys can go back to the shelf of shame and be ashamed of yourselves for not turning out the way I wanted you to. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I know this was not very focused and a little bit all over the place, but nonetheless, I do hope you enjoy. I will see you all next video. Thank you and have a great day. Oh, and all the generic YouTube begging that I'm required to do under contract. Thank you and have a great day.